Good morning. It's good to be here today. It's nice to see you all out with us today. We're about to partake of the Lord's Supper. Of course, there are a few things that I wrote down because I had to write this down to say it correctly. I walked through a store recently and passed through a music session. It was amazing to consider the sheer volume of CDs being produced in our day and our age. There are hundreds of individual groups producing thousands of songs every year after year after year. Not only do they have incredible amount of music, but the styles vary in unbelievable proportion, reflecting every segment of our culture: rap, rock, country, classical. The most mind-boggling thing is that all these tunes emanate from do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. Now you know why I had to write it down. How can so much come from these basic instruments? And when you think about it, God has designed many things that way. Thousands of human languages come from a few basic sounds. Everything in the way of a computer language orients from 0 and 1. All physical matter is built from a few key elements. As I've studied the design for the Lord's Supper, I am more and more convinced that it is one of the do, re, mi elements of worship. There is much more meaning packed into communion than we ever could fathom. As you meditate for a few minutes today, be amazed at what you hold in your hands. The bread and the fruit of the vine were chosen to help us remember Christ. As John concluded in his gospel, he said, "And there are so many other things that Jesus did, which if were written down one by one, I suppose even the world itself would not contain what would be written." And as you remember the life of Christ, which was given for you on the cross, you never know where the Holy Spirit may guide you in your thoughts. The libraries of the world cannot hold the depths of what is about to pass through your lips. Will the Lord guide you to remember the upper room, Gethsemane, Golgotha? Will you examine your life today, and will you be convinced of the sinful direction, or be overwhelmed by His grace towards you? Will you think of a person whom you need to forgive, or be moved to tears of gratitude because you have been thoroughly forgiven? This is the part of the beauty of communion. You never know exactly what your experience may be. Just as a composer sits down to arrange and rearrange musical notes, so you have the opportunity today to enter into the infinite realm of the cross of Christ. When we begin to understand the compression of these vital elements of worship, we never again have to worry about the time of communion becoming stale or lifeless. God always has a new song, and He always is ready to write it upon your heart.